Thank you very much for organizers to invite me to be in here, to discover for the beautiful city which for me it's the first time to discover it. And thank you very much for all the participants to be in here, to give me a great chance to talk about a little bit about our works in our specific country in Vietnam. If we talk about the part of the architect works, is something, the way how we see ourselves is not just only for as the design the building. And furthermore, and with our country condition, and we would like to do something before to contribute more for the country to keep the balance between environment and with the spaces for the rapid growth in the Vietnam and in general, globally, I think also environmental impact. So before that, I would like to introduce you how our company works, our workspace. Please press the first video, Eddie.
Finding a comfortable workspace is not easy in Saigon. Most people have to work in a cramped urbanscape. Everything becomes stifling and polluted in where less and less open voids, green parks, and community spaces. Conceived cool canal systems, the movement of life like the blood veins of Saigon is slowly being bridged and landfilled by the lack of vision of hasty development. But now exists very few remaining inventory of the river to save the urban gaps in Saigon. In contrast to the current focus on central cities, we ease the spatial orientation, improve peripheral development to find more porous gaps of the municipality. As children grew up with the river, we always look forward to release along with the endless flow of the Mekong. Since then, the office of Mia Design Studio is formed. Renovated from a building in a row of villas available in Bình Thạnh district, Mia Design Studio selected land adjacent to the river to be able to bring a strong connection between the workspace and riverside landscape. Nothing special about the design ideas, we just try to make the process simple and convenient for working space, pushing the space adapted to the surrounding landscape, blurring the boundary between inside and out. A workshop, a conference room is more than enough for a studio. We do not want to limit the space with walls, only the decorative bulkhead with high usability to the model and material. Left everything idyllic become possible. A liberal, a link between inside and outside.
Thank you. One of the stories we we had made decision before we find our office. Our office location is about 15 kilometers away from the city centers. And then one day we sit down, we talk, and we say, why don't we go out of the city instead of having the office in the city center to create more polluted, more traffic jam, and we don't have the problem if, you know, one way traffic jam every day in the morning, and we go in out of the city. So we avoid both. And we had the largest outdoor office spaces. So we keep connection between architects and nature surrounding. And the pressure of the pushing from our client, we forgot everything. So because it's too far, the city center, and our client saying, no, we no need to have the meeting. So we're meeting on the Skype, on the phone. So we gain our time for more time to do the real job as the design. Okay, so that's our working space principle. It is go through all the way along the way how we work and the way how we design it the same. So I will show you a couple of the small work as we had done so far with the starting of I will start with the two hot news in Vietnam. Two major big cities in Vietnam is Saigon and Hanoi. Saigon is Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City last week, we had the flooded after big rain from the city. All basement in the apartment is all the vehicle, cars and motorbike is underwater. And all the street, all the road is become the river just last week. And Hanoi, due to rapidly growth in urbanized in Hanoi, so today, according to the record, we have one of the second polluted in the world. I'm not so happy to announce to tell you that, but this is the fact from what our country faces today. It is already late, not late, but it's too late. And as an architect, we have to see what we are going to do and how we be a part of to build up the better for our country, our society, and to give back the contact as much as with the people, to the nature as possible, and we keep going to do it, and we try to do it every day, and we have to do it as we in our office. We have no other choice. Well, when we see all these kind of things. This is a small part. You can Google it, flooded in Vietnam. This is you will see, and furthermore in last week. So my introduction is the ecological park with the residential area. You know, this is the lake with a very sensitive environmental impact to the whole area. It's not only for the residential, and also for the big lagoon to flow up to the sea. So environmental in this area very sensitive in a way. There are many different kind of trees and plants, and also many different fishes and swim and things very naturally grow, and which is very much large area in the central of Vietnam. And due to the slum, surrounding this area to discharge all the waters and all the rabbits down to the lake. So authority has been tried for 7 years, but they didn't work out due to the compensation between the local people with the authority. And one day, one private company, they come into talk with every household in this area. They say, okay, we're gonna give you the better place to live, and why don't you join us to be a part of the project? So we were invited to design the park and to have all the sewage treatments to treat for this area, and to make the better for the landscape to be a part of surrounding. So the whole project long is 600 meters. One side of the park, the lake. And what we had tried is to connect with the urban area in the above, and to coming down with the water landscape. The water landscape to be a part of the areas. Not like before, you have the house and you disconnect it between the house and waterscape. And we increased to be a part of the public space for the people surrounding. And of course, we bring the green to green up this park. So this is how it's looked for today. This is a small project. It's just a spa within the resort, 5-star resort. So we has been asked for to design the spa. And very simple, straightforward. We start with one square building and dialogue with in and out with the void in the middle. So this is the spa, and all very congested surrounding. And our design on this specifically, we stretches out in the layout. We create the void in the middle. So everything else, the form of the building is created by the master plan automatically. So we can't do much about it. And so you see, this is the void and surrounding in and out, and no wall at the entrance and all around. So we put the layers to be box up the building, and one of the layers is the green layers to give a certain of privacy for the function, between the function of the resort. Then architecture is automatically turned out. And we go whole journey in and out. And we don't have the feeling we are inside or outside. And we like to do not only putting green in the landscape, but we want the landscape to be a part of the architecture. Part of architecture is here. If we keep the plants at the curtain function for a part of landscape, but at the same time to create a sunshade for the building. And outside, of course, we create the certain privacy between, as function of this one is a spa. Can you give change the mood of another video, please? Eddie? Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. Besides the hospitality, we also would love to design the residential. But early the last 5 years, it's my inspiration, some part I have looked at it as Sauta with the rag. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you to be here. So you might see some part it's related to the tropical climate, and I see you guys doing a great job. So this is one of the project. We keep the same principle of dialogue with nature and keep the balance between nature and the building. I'm gonna go quick on this part. So we have designed 40 villas on the same project. The villas from big to small, and beachfront, and the secondary, and the third part. So this one is the beachfront villas, and we dialogue the space with the nature surrounding by having blocks, play with blocks itself, and as much as dialogue to outside as possible. That's the design principle. And on top of it, we try to cool down the building by having landscape for the upper floor by the waters on the pond. So this is how to keep connection between that location with the beach and back to the landscape, to the building. And everywhere you connect with everywhere in the house, you connect with outside and inside. I'm going to show you another final movie short for this project. And the fourth project, I would like to show you another example of what we're doing. This is residential second home beachfront project with 20 hectares in 1.5 hour drive from Ho Chi Minh City to the north. And this is a story from the developers. One day they come to us, they say, "Hi man, I had this project, has been sitting here for 3 years. I tried to sell it, but seemed to be 150 villas amount, but they only sell 20. So I asked them why. They say, too expensive with the previous architect. What is you mean expensive? So they work it out. You know, the second properties in Vietnam sound very luxury today. We are not ready. So if you sell one villas for $1 million US, for instance, it's a way luxury for Vietnamese people today. Okay, but this developer, he has tried, and he come to me and he talk about it, and I say, okay, I might help you. So what we are doing is we try to make the lot smaller. We say, okay, less garden, less luxury, in the way to divide it smaller plots in order to easy to sell. But become an architect challenge. You design a house, you like to have connection with the nature, to have more bigger garden. I don't know how in Australia, it is a very big land, but in Vietnam, the land is crazy expensive. So as much as we can, on the one hand, we still have to do something with architecture. On the other hand, we have to keep the balance between nature and the building. So this is partly built, not completely yet, but this is going to be another project of our company. So we try to have, this is only 3 bedrooms house. We're not called a villas. But we try to use the rooftop as the breeding areas by having barbecues outdoor and so on. And in the front, in the back, we don't have on the side because too tight between the blocks. So within the difficulty, always taking challenge for Vietnamese architect, or the one thing is the land compared with revenues, income of the people, it's a way expensive. So somehow we have to deal with situation to do the best of it. This is on the side today. So you see one side is the mountain. By having the project up here on this land, of course, we have to destroy, might be the jungle before. So our challenge, our task is to make the stream from the mountain down to the sea. So we have to keep the landscape after we build the project by having all the stream, the line, and coming down, and the tree on top. And another project is the social house in Saigon. So this project, with the same principle, we try to keep the balance between the human and nature and integrate the landscape into the architecture. And this project is ongoing for construction as well. So you have the house with mainly for the trading area for the family on the ground floor, and upper floors will be the living space. Thank you very much.